Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is a extra special video. Today I have Jennifer Roberge. She's the owner and founder of the Eczema Company. And I'm somebody that talks about internal eczema mostly, and that's what my channel is. So today we have Jennifer to kind of talk about ways of handling the topical, because it doesn't necessarily have to be steroid creams that are topical. There's ways of managing eczema through different topical things, and we'll talk about that in this video. So if you could give us a short overview of who you are and what the brand is, my audience would love to hear.
Sure. Yeah. So I started the Eczema Company it was in 2011 after we discovered how to basically heal and soothe my son's eczema. He was fully covered in severe eczema and red, inflamed. He looked like a burn victim. It was really tough, and he didn't sleep, and a lot of really hard nights and scratching, and it went on for a long time. And we had been giving him steroids on and off based on the doctor's recommendations. And at some point, he was only like around 2. We realized, it was just the steroids were getting stronger and stronger, and it just was making me nervous. Something was not right, and so I convinced my husband grudgingly. He didn't want to stop the steroids. And we stopped, and his skin got a lot worse, and we started playing with his diet, and we did a full elimination diet, and we were supplementing with various things as well. And we saw that his skin improved by like 95% once we eliminated a certain number of foods. And then, we added them back, and sure enough, they were triggers for him. And so we cut those things out, and then he was still itchy. So there was another food that wasn't so obvious that we were able to eliminate, and that really helped a lot as well. During the really hard times, we relied a lot on wet wrapping his skin. We found natural skincare that really helped, because most the products that were being recommended to us from the drugstore were different like pharmaceutical grade moisturizers. And we realized, when I started going natural, we realized that still a lot of the creams had alcohol and things like that in that. And so his skin was like an open wound. So it would really get irritated from the alcohol, even though the physicians were all like, oh no, it's a type of alcohol that's okay for the skin. But it just was really difficult.
Eczema.
Oh, man, he would scream, and he became scared of cream. Like, he would literally run away, and it was really sad. And actually made a funny video, the Stuff Mama Says video, and it was like sad, because it's like part of the video was like him running away from me, trying to chase him to put cream on the poor child. So anyway, we discovered natural ointments and balms worked better for us without the alcohol, and things to prevent him from scratching his skin open really helped the healing process. And then, like I said, the diet was like the major thing at the end. So because of that, I realized I had spent like countless sleepless hours searching all around the world for things for him to help soothe the skin. And
haven't we all?
Oh my gosh, I know. And so I realized I was buying things from literally all over the world, and it took a lot of time. It was really difficult, and I was so tired, and I was crying all the time. And when we finally came out of all that, it's like, well, why isn't there something to make this easier? Like, why is it so hard to find a list of like reliable natural resources for eczema? And so I started the Itchy Little World blog, which is telling our story and like things that worked for us. And then I started the Eczema Company at the same time to provide mostly parents at the time with resources, the different skincare. So like the philosophy was, you can try a few different things from here. We know that there's no one topical product that's going to help. It's not the answer, first of all. It's just to help with relief in the meantime while you're healing from within. And hopefully, if you try a few things, you're going to find something that works, because there's no one product that works for everybody. And so that was the idea of the company, is to provide different resources for people, so they didn't have to shop all over the world and research to death everything. Like, we wanted to make it simple. So that was the idea, and
that's amazing.
Now, a while. So and then I started the YoRo Naturals, which you've tried some of the products. So YoRo Naturals is this one skincare product that it's just this amazing. It's Manuka skin cream, and I love it. It's what we all use, and it was like we couldn't find a good honey product for eczema at the time, so this is what we created. It's really, really great. I love that stuff. I use it myself everywhere. Everyone in my family has a jar for like different things. Like my daughter, her lips, my son, his behind his knees, my husband, like dry patches, and me, it's like all over.
You just douse yourself. Oh, this is the best thing ever. I actually have been putting it on my boyfriend's toes.
Oh, yes. And
It's great. We look at his toes in the morning. We're like, oh yeah, the Manuka honey works really well.
Were they dry? Is that what it was? Just
Yeah, they're dry.
Yeah, it works. So that, and then we created the clothing as well for wearing dry or wearing wet. Remedywear with the zinc in it. So that was that. YoRo Naturals was just like 5 years ago. We've been adding clothing continually. So
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's been getting good results. And yeah. So that's kind of our story. And my son's like he's like 95 or more % fine now.
Great.
He gets flipped up every once in a while, but now we have but we've got the regime and we know when it's going to hit in the spring and we know kind of how to tackle it. But his severe long-term stuff is way behind us. Thank goodness.
Fantastic. How old is he now?
He's 11. He's turning 12 in a month. Yeah.
Oh.
That was when he was 3 was like the worst. So it's been years. He doesn't even really remember much, which I was always worried that he'd be scarred, for life having those memories. But I guess he was young too. So he's past it, which is good.
So good. Oh man. He's very lucky that he has gone the natural route since then, because I always find that in the childhood, none of our parents knew growing up. Like, my parents thought I was allergic to oak trees. Okay. We had no idea. I was on and off of steroids, like little bits, especially in middle school. And then for some reason, I always watch it hit people so hard around my age, like that 23 to 25, it hits super hard. And so, he's so lucky that it's getting taken care of at a young age.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to ask you if you could define what wet wrapping is. Not sure my audience fully knows. And then we can dive into some of your favorite products, especially the ones that I tried, and then I can tell them how I felt about the products.
Sure. Yeah. Well, so with all topicals, I kind of talked about this before, and I think you feel the same way, is that it's really important to heal from within. And so that takes a long time, and it can take a good amount of time to find your food triggers, or things that might be off balance in your body. And it can take a very long time to heal from those things. So our philosophy is that while you're healing from within, it's a huge, important first step. It can be uncomfortable, and you're going to still have dry skin. You might even flare up worse. And so it's good to have tools to help externally, to just help you get by, and for us, wet wrapping was a hugely beneficial thing, because when things were so severe that you just, like my son literally would not scratching the entire day, and we had to keep him covered up because he would make himself bleed, and he was just like a little zombie just wanting to scratch himself. It was so intense. Yeah. And I was losing my mind, and we just needed a break, So when we needed that break, we would turn to wet wrapping. It's not meant to be a long-term solution, but it can really help if you do it for a couple days to kind of, I don't want to say reset. You're calming the skin down a lot, and you can reduce the itching by a lot. And it's not going to heal you by any means, but it's going to just help you kind of, I don't know, take a step back and have a little bit of a break from all of it, which is nice.
How do you actually do it?
Yeah. So what wrapping is you take a bath in lukewarm water with no soap or anything, just to hydrate the skin. You get out of the bath and you dry yourself off very lightly, and then you put on a good emollient, nice and thick, and liberally apply the emollient. And then you wear a form-fitting layer of clothes that are damp. So you generally, the best materials are things like Tencel, cotton. I wouldn't do anything synthetic with polyester or anything like that. Something breathable. Bamboo can be good as well. And it needs to be form-fitting to the skin. And you put the clothing in lukewarm water or warm water, and you wring it out really well. So it's just damp. You don't want it dripping wet. And you put that on top of the eczema. It can be for full body eczema. It can be one part of the body. You can just treat that. That's fine as well. And then you have to put on another layer of clothing afterwards. And that can be form-fitting, or it can be a little bit looser. But that's basically so you're not, the water, you don't get the water everywhere. And it's also to kind of add another layer, but you're basically ultra hydrating your skin. It's an intense moisturizing session, and you leave it on for as long as you can keep it damp, not let it dry out. So if you can do that overnight, and you do live in a house that's not very dry, that's amazing. I know some parents that would literally go in with a water spray bottle and spray their kids in the night to keep it hydrated, so they have a longer session. But what we ended up doing, our house was so dry, we could only do it for 2 hours at a time, which is the minimum that you want to do it for. So then when you would take off the clothing, you hydrate again the skin, and you just, I mean, we would usually see results right away, but really good results after 2 or 3 times. And you could do it multiple times in the day. And man, it helped so much. But his skin, until we figured out that the diet and the other things, it would come back, right?
What emollient do you recommend?
Well, I like our Manuka cream.
Yeah.
But really, whatever's working for you at the time is great.
So
I
even the Manuka
coconut oil, but for me, that's not moisturizing. But for some people, they find it really moisturizing, and it's antibacterial too. So really, anything. It can be. Some people do it with oils, but whatever's moisturizing for your skin.
Okay, so this could actually be used for wet wrapping.
Oh yes,
that's
definitely.
really interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I don't suggest trying anything new, of course, especially when you're applying it everywhere. But whatever is working for you, as long as it's hydrating. Some oils, some people don't find hydrating, so it just depends on you.
Oh, 100%. A lot of my clients, it's either shea butter. I mean, you're exactly right. Every single person is so different when it comes to what they can use topically.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, I have a little bit of eczema right in here, and nothing. I could put nothing on. Absolutely nothing. It didn't matter what it was. For some reason, my skin right now just has to release whatever it is. And as soon as I completely stopped putting anything at all on it, my skin was like, oh, yeah, great. But then I had a different flare-up. I had to use cream every night.
Mm-hmm. It's always different. And we've even seen on my son that he's reacted in different parts of his body, and certain cream will work for the one part and not the other, even when he's reacting at the same time. So it's so weird. Yeah.
Eczema is so weird. I'm actually going to read these ingredients so the audience kind of knows. And it's YoRo Naturals. That's how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Okay. So in this organic Manuka skin soothing cream, we have olive oil, beeswax, or organic olive oil, organic beeswax, filtered water, grapeseed oil, and then active 16 plus organic Manuka honey and wild harvested Manuka oil extract.
Yes, 6 ingredients, yeah.
What does active 16 actually mean?
So the active 16 plus means that it has more methyl glyoxyl than regular forms of honey, and that 16 plus is just it's like a testing method, a grade to let you know how much methyl glyoxyl is in the honey.
Oh wow!
So it's just they say that it's 1,000 times more powerful than other types of honey, and that's what makes it antibacterial as well. So that's why it's really powerful. And then we use the Manuka oil as well, and they say 20 to 30 times more effective against bacteria than tea tree oil, which is a popular eczema remedy.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's pretty powerful.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's why we like it.
I also. Audience, I have tried their, let me see, and I think they saw in my last video, I actually had it on, but I've been trying these arm wraps, and so.
Oh, the Remedywear, yes.
The Remedywear. Walk us through these and just like the zinc that's in them and what they do and how they work, all of it.
Sure. Well, I discovered this fabric. It's Tencel, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with. Tencel is made from. It can be made from eucalyptus or from birch, and ours is usually made from birch, and it's made in Germany, and it's from sustainable forestry in Germany. And then they take Tencel, and it's it's embedded at the fiber level with zinc, medical grade zinc. And so because of that, it's not a coating that can wash off. We've proven that it lasts 100 through 100 plus washings. The power of the zinc is like barely reduced. And so, so Tencel is known for being very cooling. It's softer than cotton smoother than cotton and softer than silk. Or maybe I have that backwards. Anyway, it has better properties than cotton or silk for eczema. And then the zinc is antibacterial and antimicrobial. So we have studies on the fabric that show that it fights staph and all of this stuff. So it's really great. And there was a clinical study in Germany that showed that if you wear them 3 nights consecutively, there's a reduction in the itchiness and improves the quality of sleep and quality of life in patients with atopic dermatitis. So that was really cool. Yeah. Yeah, and we get a lot of good results. We get a lot of nurses, interesting enough, that wear this underneath their scrubs to like kind of like protect their skin. They have eczema or they have itchy skin, and they just wear it as kind of a barrier. And then a lot of people wear them as pajamas because they're really itchy at night, and they wake up from it, and this helps them to sleep. It's cooling, and it's the antibacterial.
There's a whole line of clothes, just so my audience knows this. I just have the little arm wrap. But just so they know, there's like a long sleeve shirt and pants, right?
Yeah, we have, we can cover you pretty much from head to toe if you're a baby to an adult. Like we've expanded to now we have pretty much everything and variety of colors. We also, it's important that we provide for adults because I didn't feel like there was a lot out there for adults. So that was the first thing we released. Yeah, products for adults. And also some colors, like there's white and black for adults, but kids have teal too. And I felt like most medical garments out there today are white and they get dirty really fast, especially with eczema and all your creams. And anyway, we wanted to provide something that was a little more interesting, and our dyes are hyperallergenic and we were really careful about what we used.
I want to give a little bit more emphasis on the fact that it helps with staph, because staph infection is something I get questions on all the time. And I actually tried this myself. I loved it. I mean, it is soothing. It is like cooling for sure. Like you can feel that it's cooling down the skin and everything. This piece of eczema likes to be open and dry, but I was able to try it for a few days. Does everything still work if it's wet? Is this something you can use as like a wet wrap too?
Yes. So what we recommend, because it's a special fabric and we chose it because it has properties that should help eczema for most people, we recommend trying it dry first because it's the easiest, less messy thing to do. So our fabric is made so that you can wear it dry. It's supposed to be beneficial for eczema that way. The tests were done that way. The study was done that way. So try it dry first. It's the easiest thing. It's the least messy thing. If that's not enough and you need an extra boost, you can wear it damp for sure, as in wet wrapping. And that works great too. So really either or. So.
Amazing. To wrap up, unfortunately, we already have to wrap up. What is your best piece of advice for eczema warriors managing their eczema topically?
Topically, the best advice for someone managing topically is it's going to be patient pretty much, because it's going to take you a while before you possibly find the right thing for your skin. It gets expensive. We had a whole closet full of products at one point, and so I understand. But don't give up. Read your ingredients really carefully. Try to avoid the a long list of toxic things they like to put in the products. More simple is better, because if you have a smaller list of ingredients and you do react, usually you can kind of trial and error pinpoint what it might be. And if it's a natural product with few ingredients, you might be able to, like with our product, for example, if it could be the honey, so try honey separately and do a patch test and see if that's it. If it could be the olive oil, so try that in a separate patch test, So keep it simple, I'd say, with the ingredients, and keep it clean. And you're going to have an easier way to identify if you have a reaction, and you also have to be able to find products that will kind of fit what you can tolerate. So
that's amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I will be sure to include all of your links in the description of this video. If you want to just say any of them that you want, if people can look for different resources or follow you for a certain reason, the floor is yours.
Oh my goodness. Well, I would say if you want to sign up for our newsletter, that's probably a good place to start, because with the Eczema Company, we also have one for YoRo Naturals. But we release new posts every week, and we write on different topics. And so we're always trying to cover like various parts of the body where there's reactions, or new ideas in skincare and this and that. So we have a lot of information that we're putting out there. So it's probably the best thing is, if you want to get more information about natural eczema and healing, the newsletters would probably be the best thing to do, is to sign up for that.
That's amazing. And like I said, I'm going to link all the different companies, all the different links to these products we talked about specifically. I'll put those all in the description down below. And I know this video is going to help so many people, because, that's not my expertise at all. It's like all these different topical things. Like, you've been teaching me things on this call. So I'm sure people are going to just love this video. And, yeah, so thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It was really fun, and I love what you're doing, internal healing and diet and all that. It's such a huge part of eczema. So I love it. So it's really great. I'm happy.
I think the more the community expands and the more my audience knows about other people that are doing the same things it's so great for, everyone to just be interconnected and realize that
support network.
Yeah. And not everybody heals the same way.
No, not at all. Yeah. And it can be really a long and frustrating journey for a lot of people. So, and that's tough. The older you are, I find also the longer it takes to heal. So that's difficult.
Well, especially I have parents that watch, and for me, I'm very specific about working with adults usually. And so now they have a resource of a parent who went through it, like knows how it feels emotionally for parents to go through something like that. So I really, really appreciate you coming on and sharing with everybody.
Oh, well, I hope we can stay in touch. And if you ever need anything or you want to share anything or do some sort of collaboration, let me know, because we're always open for all of that.
I think we have a plan for doing an IG live together.
Oh,
so that's in the works.
Was that Laura? Laura's working on that with you.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. Well, I will see you guys in my next video, and thank her in the comments. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.
Bye.